Hello and welcome to Ageless Brilliance, where we explore the wisdom, health, and fulfillment that come with growing older. Today's topic is deeply important and, for many, deeply personal. The things older adults should never do with their children if they want to preserve peace, dignity, and love in their later years. This isn't about blame, it's about awareness. It's about protecting the bond with your children before mistakes create distance that's hard to repair. Let's talk honestly, gently, and wisely. Don't use guilt as a tool. Guilt can sneak into our words without us even realizing it. It can show up in a sigh, a glance, a sentence like, "After all I've done for you," or, "If you really love me, you'd be here more often." And maybe we don't mean to hurt. Maybe we're just lonely, tired, wishing things felt the way they used to. But guilt doesn't bring people closer. It pushes them away. When love is mixed with guilt, it starts to feel heavy, like a burden, a duty, not a joy. No child wants to feel like they owe their parent time. They want to give it freely because they want to be there, not because they're afraid of disappointing us. And here's the truth. Most children already carry a quiet guilt in their hearts for not calling enough, for not visiting enough, for being too busy. So when we add more guilt to the pile, even gently, we may be doing more harm than we know. So, what can we do instead? We can be honest. We can be vulnerable. We can say, "I miss you. I'd love to hear your voice more. I think about you every day." When we speak from the heart, without blame, we create space. Space for our children to choose love, not out of pressure, but out of genuine desire. And that's the kind of connection that lasts, because guilt may get someone to visit once, but love, real love, brings them back again and again. So next time you're tempted to say, "You never have time for me," try this instead. "I'd really love some time with you. Let me know when you're free." It's softer, it's kinder, and it opens the door without pushing anyone through it. In the end, it's not about how often they show up. It's about how freely they do. Choose love, not guilt, every time. Don't expect your children to fulfill your emotional needs as we get older. Our world can begin to shrink, careers slow down, social circles get smaller, and sometimes loneliness starts to creep in. In those quiet moments, it's easy to look to our children, to hope they'll fill the gaps, be our companions, our listeners, our comfort, our joy. But here's something we don't often say out loud. That's a heavy weight to place on someone else's shoulders, especially when they're juggling so much themselves. Work, relationships, raising children, managing stress. Your emotional well-being, your peace, can't rest entirely on them. And it shouldn't, because when we expect our children to be our everything, we create pressure, not connection. We might not say it outright, but the message becomes clear. I need you to make me happy. And no one, not even someone who loves us deeply, can carry that load forever. So what's the answer? It's this. We must keep building our own emotional garden. Find the friends who make us laugh. Pursue hobbies that light us up. Join groups, clubs, faith communities, whatever feeds your spirit. Read, paint, walk, pray, dance, volunteer. Talk to someone who really listens. Because a full life doesn't end at retirement. It doesn't end when the kids leave home. It evolves. And when we have our own sources of joy, our own emotional anchors, we stop grasping, we stop needing, and we start connecting. Freely, joyfully, without pressure. Let your children be part of your life, not the center of it. Let them visit, call, laugh, and share because they want to, not because they feel they must. And when they see you living fully, still growing, still glowing, they'll want to be near you even more. Because love thrives where freedom lives. So today, ask yourself, what fills your heart outside of your children? What makes you feel alive? Go toward those things. Build a life that's rich and beautiful on your terms. Your happiness belongs to you, and you are worthy of joy at every age. Don't criticize their life choices. It's one of the hardest things about being a parent. letting go of the need to guide, to fix, to correct, even when your children are grown, 40, 50, 60 years old. That parental instinct never really leaves. You want what's best for them. You see their struggles, their decisions, and you think, if only they listened, if only they did it my way. But here's the thing, constant criticism, even when wrapped in love, doesn't sound like care. It sounds like judgment. Whether it's about who they married, how they raised their kids, the job they chose, or how they spend their money or time, when we question their every move, we're not building closeness, we're building walls. They might smile, nod, say, I know, Mom, or thanks, Dad. But inside, they're pulling away because nobody wants to feel like they're never enough, that every choice they make is under a microscope. And sometimes your silence, your quiet support, speaks more love than any advice ever could. So what can you do instead? Try acceptance, real, wholehearted acceptance, even if you don't understand their choices, even if you wouldn't make the same ones. Say, I trust you. Say, I'm proud of you for figuring it out in your own way. Say, I may not agree, but I love you no less. Because respect is powerful. When a child feels respected, truly seen as an adult, that's when real closeness begins. They'll open up more. They'll share more. Because they know you're not there to judge. You're there to walk beside them. And if you do feel concern, deep concern, lead with love, not correction. Ask questions, don't give lectures. Say, how are you really doing with that? Not, that was a mistake. Because tone matters, approach matters, and respect. Respect is a bridge. But once that bridge is burned, it's hard, sometimes impossible to rebuild. So if you want connection that lasts, if you want to be someone your children turn to, not run from, put down the criticism, pick up compassion, let them grow, let them fall, let them live, and be there, not to direct the path, but to walk beside them on it, with love and without judgment. Don't compete with their spouse or partner. This one is tender because it touches the heart of who we are as parents. There was a time, a beautiful time, when you were the center of your child's world. Their hand reached for yours. Their eyes looked to you for every answer. You were their safe place. But life moves forward, children grow, and eventually someone else becomes their closest person. A spouse, a partner, someone who now holds the role of confidant, companion, and home. And that shift, it can stir something inside, a quiet ache, a sense of being replaced. Even jealousy, though we may not want to admit it, it's tempting to compete. To remind your child in subtle ways, I was here first. I know you best. I should come first. But here's the truth. When you challenge their relationship, even gently, even unconsciously, you don't draw your child closer. You create distance. Comments like, I don't think they're right for you. Or, you used to call me more before you got married. They don't bring connection, they bring tension. And your child, they feel torn, stuck in the middle, trying to protect two people they love, while feeling like they're failing both. But you have the power to ease that pressure, support their bond, respect their relationship, even if it's not perfect, even if it's not how you would have chosen. Praise their partner when you can. Say things like, they seem to make you happy, or I appreciate how they take care of you. Those words go further than you think, because when you embrace their partner, you protect your relationship with your child. You become a source of peace, not a cause of stress. And if there are real concerns, true, serious concerns, bring them gently, privately, with compassion, not criticism. But unless your child is in harm's way, let love lead the way. Remember, your goal isn't to be number one. Your goal is to be present, trusted, loved, included. And the best way to stay close to your child is to respect the person they've chosen to walk through life with. Love them both, and you'll never be left out. Don't use money to control. Money can be a beautiful thing when it's used to support, to uplift, to ease a burden or offer a helping hand. And as a parent, it's natural to want to give, to help your children buy a home, support them through hard times, or offer something you never had growing up. But here's where it gets complicated. When money starts to come with strings, invisible ones, tied to guilt, control, or expectations. If I pay for this, then you'd better be there when I need you. I helped you, so now you owe me. I gave you everything, and look how little I get in return. These thoughts may never be said out loud, but they are felt deeply, and what could have been a gesture of love becomes a quiet transaction, one that erodes trust and replaces gratitude with resentment. Because true giving doesn't keep score. It doesn't say, now you owe me. It says, I did this because I love you. That's it. If you give money, give it with an open hand, not a tight grip, no expectations, no emotional contracts. And if giving will leave you feeling bitter or used, then maybe don't give, because your peace matters too. Financial support should come from generosity, not strategy. It should create freedom, not obligation. And your children, they feel it. They know when money comes with conditions, and it changes how they relate to you. They might pull away, hide their struggles, avoid asking for help, because they're afraid of the price tag that isn't written on the check. But here's the truth. Your greatest value to them isn't financial, it's emotional. It's your wisdom, your presence, your love without terms. So give if you want to, give if you can, but don't let money become a silent weapon in your relationship. Because love that's pure, love that's lasting, love that's real, doesn't come with receipts. Don't refuse to let go of control. Letting go. It's one of the hardest things a parent ever has to do. Not when your child is a toddler taking their first steps or a teen learning to drive, but when they're fully grown in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and you realize you're still holding on, still giving instructions instead of invitations, still offering advice before it's asked for, still silently measuring their choices against your expectations. It's not because you don't love them. It's because you do. You want them to be safe, to be happy, to make the right choices, even if they're not the same choices you would make. But here's the truth that's hard to face. Control, no matter how well-intentioned, pushes people away. Whether it's insisting on how holidays should be spent, questioning how they raise their children, or quietly judging their career, their home, their partner, all of it sends one subtle but painful message. You're not doing it right. And that message hurts, not just them, but your connection with them. Because adult children need more than love. They need respect. They need to know you see them not as the teenager who once slammed doors, but as a capable adult, building a life on their own terms. That means letting go, not with bitterness, but with grace. It means offering guidance only when asked. It means saying, I trust your judgment. It means biting your tongue when every part of you wants to jump in and fix, correct, or steer. And when they do ask for advice, give it gently, not as a command, but as a conversation. Because control is a wall, but respect is a bridge. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. It means you trust that the seeds you planted of love, of values, of wisdom are strong enough to grow without your hands always in the soil. So take a deep breath, loosen your grip, and watch your relationship flourish. Not because you held tighter, but because you let go with love. Don't overstay your welcome. There's something special about being close to your children, living under the same roof again, even for a little while, sharing meals, hearing the laughter of grandchildren down the hall, being part of the everyday rhythm of family life. It can be beautiful, a second chance to bond, to belong, to feel needed. But it's important to remember something. As much as they love you, you are now in their space, and that shift requires grace. When you lived together years ago, you were the center of the household. You made the rules, set the pace, carried the responsibilities. But now the roles have changed. This is their home, their family unit, their decisions to make. And if you're living with them, whether temporarily or long-term, it's vital to honor that. Don't expect to be waited on. Don't assume they'll rearrange their lives to meet your preferences. Instead, Blend in with kindness. Ask before offering advice. Pitch in when you can. Be the presence they look forward to coming home to, not a source of tension they tiptoe around. Respect the flow of their household. Understand that your adult child and their partner may need space, time alone, a sense of control over their own home. You may be their parent, but they are now the heads of their own lives. And if you're just visiting, stay with joy, leave with grace. Be the guest they're excited to host again, not the one they secretly count down the days for. A visit that ends a little too soon is often remembered with fondness. One that lingers too long can strain even the closest bond. So how do you know if you're overstaying? Watch their energy. Listen for subtle cues. Respect unspoken boundaries. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give your adult children is space. Space to parent in their own way, to manage their home their own way, to live fully without the quiet pressure of your expectations. Because love doesn't always mean staying close. Sometimes it means stepping back, so the relationship can breathe. So visit with warmth, live with humility, leave with gratitude, and always let your presence be a blessing, not a burden. Don't speak negatively about siblings. Family is complicated, and as a parent, your heart holds more than one love. Each child different, each relationship unique, each connection layered with memories, joy, and sometimes pain. But one of the quietest ways to break that bond is by speaking one child's name in criticism to another. It might seem harmless, just a vent, just an honest moment. Your brother never calls. Your sister is always so selfish. Why can't she be more like you? But these words do more than just express frustration. They plant seeds, seeds of division, of comparison, of mistrust. When one sibling hears you criticize another, it creates a tension they didn't ask for. It puts them in the middle, and it forces them to question, what do they say about me when I'm not around? It changes how your children see you and how they see each other. Instead of bringing them closer, it quietly pulls them apart. But here's the good news. You have the power to be the glue, the peacemaker, the center that holds the family together with grace, not judgment. So when you feel the urge to compare, pause. When you're tempted to vent to one child about another, breathe. There's a better way. Try saying, I'm having a hard time understanding your brother right now, but I love him. Or, I admire how different you all are. You each bring something special to my life. Speak life into their differences. Celebrate their uniqueness. Honor their individual paths. Because when your children feel safe with you, when they know they won't be compared, criticized, or used as emotional go-betweens, they trust more. They open up more. They stay close, not just to you, but to each other. And that's one of the most beautiful legacies a parent can leave behind. So be the source of harmony, not hurt. Choose words that lift, not divide. Let your voice be a thread that weaves your family together. Because in the end, unity is sacred, and you are its keeper. Don't ignore end-of-life planning. There are conversations we tend to avoid, not because they're unimportant, but because they're uncomfortable, hard to face, easy to postpone. End-of-life planning is one of those conversations. But let me tell you something. Facing it now, while you're healthy, clear-minded, and calm, is one of the greatest gifts you will ever give your children. Because in moments of crisis, emotions run high. Grief clouds judgment, and families are left guessing what you would have wanted, guessing who should make decisions, guessing how to honor you in a way that brings peace, not conflict. But it doesn't have to be that way. Start with the basics. Make a will. Appoint someone you trust as power of attorney. Talk about your medical preferences, whether you'd want life support, where you'd want to be cared for, what quality of life means to you. These decisions may feel heavy, but leaving them undecided is even heavier for your children, for your spouse, for those who love you most. This isn't about being morbid. It's about being responsible. It's about love. Love that looks ahead. Love that protects. Love that says, I don't want to burden you when you're already grieving. And don't just write it down. Talk about it. Bring it into the open. Give your children the clarity they deserve. Let them ask questions. Let them share their fears. Let them feel included so they don't feel lost later. Because when the time comes, whether it's years from now or decades, your voice will still be guiding them. Your choices will be known. And instead of scrambling in confusion, they'll be able to honor your wishes with peace in their hearts. That is love. That is grace. That is leadership, even in the quietest chapter of life. So start the conversation. Today, not someday, not later. Do it now while you're well. Do it with calm, with clarity, with care, because planning for the end is not about death. It's about giving life to the people you love most, even after you're gone. Don't stop growing. Just because your children are grown doesn't mean your story's over. You raised them. You guided them. You gave them roots. But now this part of life is for you. Don't shrink into the background. Don't let the world convince you that your best days are behind you. They're not. Keep learning. Read something new. Try something you've never done before. Travel, even if it's just to the next town. Take a class, join a group, start a garden, write your story. Because growth doesn't stop at 60 or 70 or 80. It just changes shape. You are still evolving, still becoming, still filled with wisdom the world needs, including your children. They're watching you even now, watching how you age, how you face change, how you embrace the unknown. You're still teaching them, not with your words, but with your life. Show them that life doesn't end after retirement. It deepens, it softens, it expands. So don't fade away. Shine in new ways. Be curious. Be bold. Because your journey isn't finished. It's just entering another beautiful chapter. And you're still the author. Closing message. Let's face it. Parenting never truly ends. It simply evolves. You spent years guiding your children with love, through scraped knees, school days, heartbreaks, and triumphs. But now, that love takes a new form. Less about direction, more about connection. Less about control, more about compassion. This chapter is about growing with your children, not above them. Speak with gentleness. Give freely without keeping score. Offer wisdom only when invited. And most of all, love them not for who you hoped they'd become, but for exactly who they are. Because the bond between parent and child is a living thing. It needs space. It needs patience. It needs grace. It's one of life's most sacred relationships. Protect it, honor it, let it flourish. Thank you for spending this time with us. If this message touched your heart, share it with someone who needs a little encouragement today. And if you believe in growing wiser, not just older, in living fully at every age, then join our community. Subscribe to Ageless Brilliance, where every story, every voice, and every chapter matters. Stay wise, stay kind, stay brilliant. You're listening to Ageless Brilliance, and your journey is far from over.